This is a cozy girls' night in, and you're invited. Rest is not a thing I do well. Shows and movies that are perfect for the summertime. I just got an Amazon package. First of all, can we talk about the cover? You haven't seen coloring books for adults quite like this. I know I can't be the only one who struggles with taking time to rest and giving myself permission to rest. Hello fellow YouTubers, I'm Cassandra Joy and welcome to my channel. Working remote and having ADD can be two wonderful tools at your disposal if used correctly. If not, you hyper-focus on all of the work you have to get done and completely forget to take lunch breaks and work through them entirely, which is exactly what I've been doing for months and months and months. So one of the things I've been trying to do is to force myself to take breaks. I'm forcing myself to take my lunch break. If you have hyper-focus problems like I do, it's easier said than done to pull yourself away. But I've been working on it, which is why I'm talking to you right now on my lunch break. Let's pull you in just a little closer so we can properly chat. Do you like my shirt I'm wearing today? It's Ellie and Grace. They just came out with all of their fall things. I think I have a 10% discount link in the description box. If you want to snag yourself a few fall pieces, they're super cute. I wanted everything. So I don't know if you've noticed recently, but if you've been watching the vlogs at all, my summer has been jam-packed, which is how I like it. No complaints at all. But sometimes I just need a good old cozy night in. I've been craving it and thinking about it a lot for the past few days, which tells me I probably need to slow down and just take some time for myself, which is really hard for me. I don't know if I'm the only one or if I'm just broken, but taking personal time to do nothing is really hard for my extrovert, type A, perfectionist, eneagram 3, firstborn character traits. Rest is not a thing I do well. I have to be being productive in some way. If I'm reading, I'm getting through my TBR list. That counts as productive. If I'm sitting for hours watching YouTube, I consider that educating myself and finding things I can put into my own vlogs and fine-tune my craft. If I put on a comfort show, I'm probably gonna be cleaning right along with it, or tidying, or doing dishes, or something to make those horrible chores that much more bearable. I never just do nothing and feel good about it. But tonight, it's gonna be different. I'm telling myself right now. It's gonna be calm, it's gonna be cozy, it's gonna be full of fun little nothing activities like crafts or reading, all while rotting on the couch, eating snacks, and a warm cup of something cozy. This is a cozy girls' night in, and you're invited. Before we can jump into cozy time, there's a little bit of prep work we've gotta do first. Starting with an appointment to get my nails done. These suckers need updated. Here's what I went with. Very simple, one color, but I did a little gem on the fourth finger. Super cute, got lots of compliments. But this time I decided to not trim my nails back and keep them long, which was a great idea in theory, not a great idea in practice for someone who uses her hands for everything, which is why this finger here is significantly shorter than the rest. Yeah, we had a little bit of a casualty there, as well as this pinky finger. I just can't do long nails. That's the conclusion I've come to. So we're gonna file them back, not all the way to the quick like this one, but definitely shorter. And I've saved a little inspiration picture on Pinterest for my nail tech to see if we can incorporate that and duplicate it in some way. I'm very excited. So we're gonna go do that and get this cozy girls' night underway. home from getting my nails done. I'm so happy with how they turned out. I think they look like a little beach hut as the vibe they're giving off, and I'm not mad about it. I know everybody in the world is thinking fall right now, but it was 84 degrees today, and I'm still clinging on to summer for dear life. Because it's all fun and games when fall is here, but we all know what happens after fall leaves. Winter is coming. I'm just now sitting down to get some dinner, just in case you were looking down the barrel of a sink full of dishes that you haven't been able to get to yet, whether from lack of time or from lack of motivation. Same. Hope that encourages you that you're not alone and it's normal. So I was trying to think through what I want to do with you tonight. I was thinking about a sunset swim. That sounded really fun, but the sun's already setting. I'm thinking I might skip the sunset swim and go right into the cozy stuff so that we still have daylight. But that's okay, because we're gonna put on a cozy little movie, summer themed, sorry. We'll get to fall, I promise. We're gonna compile all the yummy snacks, and then after the movie, I'm thinking we might turn down all the lights. The sun will probably be set by then. Put a candle on my candle warmer. I have a lot of summer books I haven't gotten to yet, and I don't have that much left of summer to read them, so I feel like this is the perfect time. This may be a little ambitious, but I might pull out some crafts to do as well, maybe some coloring books or some crocheting. We'll see how we feel. But first, dinner. By the way, this little LED light is probably one of the best cozy purchases I've ever made. It has a dimmer switch, so I can make it brighter or dimmer as I feel like it. It had a sticky backing, so I can stick it to whatever I want. And I had seen people have really expensive LED lights meant for TV. I just DIY'd this and made it work. It was not expensive. Got it from Amazon. It's one of my favorite things to do when I'm winding down for the evening and I don't want the big light on and I want it to be instantly cozy and atmospheric. This is what I put on. I will try to link it if I can, just in case you guys want your own. The trees will bloom and ice will melt. We'll always remember how it felt. Okay, before we get officially cozy, I want to talk about shows and movies that are perfect for the summertime. We all know the classics. We all know the nostalgic picks we gravitate to that take us back to our childhood or remind us of what we used to watch growing up. Movies like Aquamarine or Practical Magic, and yes, Practical Magic is a summer movie. Don't fight me on this, you won't win. But I have a few that are not often talked about, and I thought I would mention them in case you wanted to add them to your summer list of things to watch. If you're a fan of Aquamarine, you will definitely love this TV show. This is called H2O, Just Add Water. It takes place in Australia, so there's all the Australian accents. It has a summer beachy location because of course it does. It has mermaids in it. And I'll warn you now, it's very cute, teeny boppery, and a little bit cringy, but the kind you can't help but love. The story takes place in Australia. I don't remember which area, but there's a lot of nearby islands. These three teenagers with vastly different personalities, Emma, Cleo, and Ricky, all become unlikely friends in the event that they get stranded in the middle of the ocean on a boat. But they notice in the distance that there's an island they can get to with relative ease, so they make their way there. It's an island that's totally remote, no cell phone signal, no ability to call for help, so they decide to explore rather than just sit on the beach hoping someone will find them. In the midst of their exploring, they stumble into a very enchanting cave of sorts. I guess you could call it a cove. Turns out this cave is in fact a dormant volcano. The opening shows the night sky above, moonlight is flooding in, and there's water at the bottom that just casts this beautiful reflection over everything. And at this point they're a little bit lost, but they think that if they get into the water they can find a way to swim back out to sea. But in the process of doing so, they don't realize that the moon has cast a magic little spell on all three of them that turns them into modern day mermaids. The stories are so cliche, but it's so wholesome and sweet, so I had to list this as a must watch to wrap up the summertime because it's just so darling. We're gonna talk about one of my favorite go-to summer movies, Fool's Gold. I couldn't find the DVD case. I don't know where it ended up, but I have the DVD, so I'll show you this. This story is one of my favorites. I watch it every single summer without fail. It just makes my heart instantly happy. The story focuses around a couple named Tess and Finn. In the first 10 minutes of the movie, you find out that Finn has made some deals with some not so great people in an attempt to find this long lost treasure that he's been obsessed with. You also find out that Tess is really heartbroken over this relationship that is now ending. She's about to go through a divorce. What you quickly put together is that Tess and Finn are married. And while the yacht that Tess works on is docking to allow her to go get a divorce, Finn makes the bad guys he's indebted to a little bit angry. I won't tell you how, but just know he's efficient at it, and gets himself stranded in the middle of the ocean, which makes him extremely late to his divorce hearing. The movie starts out with this beautiful picturesque scene of islands popping out of the bluest ocean you've ever seen. And when I tell you the bickering and sarcasm and banter between Tess and Finn is top-notch, enemies to lovers, or friends to lovers to enemies to lovers, however you want to think about it. It is laugh out loud so good. In the course of the story, Tess and Finn make a begrudging alliance. Finn wants to repay his debt to the bad guys so that he can get out from under their thumb. And in order to do that, he needs to find this long lost treasure in real short order, and the only way he can do that is to rope in Tess's help along with Tess's boss, the owner of this beautiful yacht that I would just love to live on for a month. And together they create this merry band of novice treasure hunters with all the good intentions and very little skill. It's the perfect balance of humorous and serious, which I find a lot of islandy treasure hunt themed movies lack a lot. It's often one or the other. This movie marries the two very well, and it's one of my favorite summer movies of all time. Sticking to the treasure hunting trend, I would like to talk about Uncharted. Many of you who've been watching for a while know that Uncharted is one of my favorite video games to play. If you didn't know, hi, I'm Cass, and I actually like video games on the sly. They made that video game into a movie with Tom Holland, and even though it is nothing like the video game, it's still very good. High stakes treasure hunt. Again, a lot of humor, a lot of banter.
But to the unwise, everything out of this one's mouth is an exaggeration, a half-truth, or an outright lie.
You know what? That is not true.
Twists and turns that I did not see coming and was pleasantly surprised by, and you can't help but love the characters. They just are so endearing, even with all of their imperfection and morally gray compasses. So definitely give this a watch if you want all of the summer treasure hunty vibes. No, the battery's dying. I'm not done yet. Hold on. Next, we're gonna dive into a genre that some may not consider to be summery, but I definitely do. You may have heard me talk about in the past how whodunits feel like the perfect summer book to read for me. I wanted to talk about a couple shows that are in that same vein. First up, Veronica Mars. I don't know if any of you grew up watching this. I definitely did, and when I say grow up, I mean probably college era. I didn't watch this as a child, don't worry. I'm just gonna read the back because I think it'll explain the premise in a more succinct way than I could. A little bit Buffy, a little bit Bogart, a dash of Nancy Drew. Veronica Mars takes the best and brainiest of the American culture of crime solving and adds a unique vision of its own. Brooding, edgy, darkly funny, and just plain dark to become one of the hottest, sleekest series of the new century.
Troy,
That's very true, by the way. They not only made multiple TV series, but they ended up making movies after the fact, years later, when little Christian Bell, who features in this, was all grown up. The fan base was that strong. It was very cool. Veronica is an outcast in a trendy SoCal beach town, so instant beach vibes right off the bat. Once she ran with Neptune's high-in crowd, but she's on the outside after her best friend is murdered and her sheriff father accuses the wrong man as the perp, the dead girl's billionaire father. Dad loses his job, Veronica loses her popularity, and both struggle to build a detective agency and new lives. Email scams, cults, car thefts, you name it. Veronica Mars investigates it. But her obsession is the murder of her friend, and she'll take any risk to solve it. It has all of the highs and lows and humor and heaviness of being a teenage girl in the midst of real life problems. It definitely feels like if Nancy Drew had a darker, edgier, broodier side and was exceptional at wit and banter and standing up to intimidating people, she would be Veronica Mars.
Yes, who signed for room service and room charged to the Eccles family credit card? Logan's girlfriend, Caitlin Ford.
Maybe it's the nostalgia that makes me keep running back to this, but I really enjoy the show. It's definitely on the grittier side, not as lighthearted as some of the other movies and shows that I've recommended, but the twists and turns will keep you guessing until the end. But just to let you know, it is a little more on the grittier side. Last but not least is a TV show I don't think I've ever mentioned on YouTube, and that is Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries. Once again, we're back in Australia. Let me paint you a picture. The roaring 20s. Australian accents, the height of fashion, lovable, multifaceted, imperfect characters that completely steal your heart, and a whodunit mystery that keeps you watching season after season. This show is so good. If that didn't convince you, let me just gush a little bit. This show is one of my favorites, and anytime I talk to someone about it, they don't know it exists. I think once upon a time it was available to watch on Acorn. I don't know if that's true anymore, but I did snag this off of Amazon if you want to get it for yourself. In 1920s Melbourne, the Honorable Phryne Fisher is a thoroughly modern woman operating in a mostly male world. The glamorous lady detective goes about her work with a pistol close at hand and, more often than not, a male admirer ever close. To the dismay of Detective Inspector Jack Robinson, his voice is amazing, by the way. Phryne's investigations take her through back alleys, jazz clubs, and shady neighborhoods. Ignoring the dangers all around her, she glides through life determined to enjoy every moment. But beneath her devil-may-care attitude, Phryne hides ghosts from the past that continue to haunt her. I will add a disclaimer because I wish someone had warned me. I didn't know at the time. Unlike America, who rates their movies a little bit differently based on, how do I put this respectfully, lack of clothing, British movies don't always do that. So just so you're not shocked like I was, there are one or two scenes scattered throughout the seasons that showcase more than you might expect. I will not be held responsible for anyone having a heart attack on account of my recommendation and not warning you properly. So there you go, that is your warning. But putting that aside, this show is so underrated. No one knows it exists and they need to. This is beautiful. The costumes, it makes you feel like you have stepped in a time machine and gone straight to Australia 1920. Even though they make Phryne a modern woman with very forward-thinking ideas, it never feels out of the realm of possibility. It never feels like a modern writer wrote her in the 1920s, if that makes sense. The witty banter and camaraderie and tension between Phryne and Detective Robinson is so good. Tantalizing and yummy. That alone should make you want to watch it. But if you like something a little more wholesome and a little more sweet, there are two side characters that might as well be extra main characters for all of the love I feel for them. When you meet Dot and Hugh, you'll immediately know what I'm talking about, but I'll just leave it at they're adorable, and you will likely start rooting for them the minute you see them on screen together. And that's all of my top favorite summer movies and TV show recommendations. I don't know if any of them were ones you had never heard of before or maybe reminded you of something you used to watch and want to dive back into, but I find all of these put me instantly in a summer mood, and I figured I would share with all of you so that you could add them to your want to watch list. just got an Amazon package. I've been waiting to open it with you. I'm gonna open it now because I can't wait any longer. I got something cozy for us to do together. These are all from Amazon, and I'll make sure to list all of them in the description box. First is this coloring book. Don't click off, don't get bored. It's not just any coloring book. This is called Village Charm, and these are darling. There's a whole series of them. This is a coloring book by Creative Haven. I got the Village Charm edition. They've got so many to choose from, but I really liked this one that felt very summery. Let me see if I can find some good ones. You haven't seen coloring books for adults quite like this. Look at this bakery. That scene looks beautiful. This is the first time I'm really properly looking through it. Oh, look at the patisserie. That's beautiful. I love how detailed and picturesque it is. Oh, tell me this is not the most Stars Hollow scene you could ever find. Try to tell me this is not a Stars Hollow gazebo. Oh, they're so cute. All of these quaint, summery little scenes. Oh, there's a little horse. There's a puppy. I'm obsessed. This is so cute. But no coloring book is complete without something to color them with. So I treated myself to some very special markers. These are Primrosia markers. I've never tried them before, but rude. These are Primrosia markers. I've never delved into this brand before, but it looks very intriguing, not just because of the packaging. Let me show you. It lists all of the different colors that are included. This is the Fauna marker collection. They have a couple different ones, and they are dual tip marker pen with watercolor brush and fine tips. Oh, they've got nib replacements. I've never seen that before, but that's so helpful. Here are all of the colors. I thought they were a good mix of pastel and vibrant. I thought this could transition me very easily into the autumn months. Needless to say, I haven't even colored anything and I'm obsessed. So we'll be doing a little bit of cozy coloring together today. I thought that would be fun to do. Again, it's just one of those things that I never make time for because it feels like a waste of time, and I'm trying to train myself out of that mentality. One other thing I got myself, not that I needed it, but I also needed it, you'll see what I mean, is a book. First of all, can we talk about the cover? This is the most beautiful Instagram-worthy cover. The colors are so good. I love it. It's simple, but also a little bit retro. It's called A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. She also wrote The Dead Romantics, which I have heard of, haven't read it, and The 7-Year Slip, which I've also heard of. I haven't read that one either, but it's in my Amazon cart. Let me read the back for you. Eileen Elsie Merriweather loves to get lost in a good happily ever after. The fictional kind, anyway. Because at least imaginary men don't leave you at the altar. She feels safe in stories, at home in books, which might be why she's so set on going to her book club's annual retreat this year. She needs good friends, cheap wine, and grand romantic gestures, no matter what. When her car unexpectedly breaks down on the way, she finds herself stranded in a quaint town that seems like it's right out of a novel. Dun dun dun. This place can't be real, and yet she's here. In Aloriton, the town from her favorite romance series, where the candy store's honey taffy is always sweet, the local bar's burgers are always a little burnt, and rain always comes in the afternoon. It feels like home. It's perfect, and perfectly frozen, trapped in the late author's last unfinished story. Elsie is sure that must be why she's here, to help bring the town to its storybook ending. Except there is a character in Aloriton whom she can't place. Grumpy bookstore owner with mint green eyes, an irritatingly sexy mouth, and impeccable taste in novels. And he does not want her finishing this book. Which is a problem because Elsie is beginning to think the town's happily ever after just might be intertwined with her own. Tell me that does not sound like the perfect summer read. Also, can we talk about the floppy consistency of this book? I know some people are really obsessed with that, and I never understood until I got a floppy book. Now I get it. just one last thing to do. Cozy up in my new cardigan. I've been on the hunt for a cardigan for a couple years now. I couldn't even tell you what I was looking for, but I wasn't finding it. And then I saw this. It's a cream number with denim pockets and this nautical stripe around them. Are you kidding? So cute. Perfect for transitioning from summer to fall. Not that it's that chilly outside, but inside it's a lovely 64 degrees. So that feels like the perfect excuse to put on my cardigan. Oh, it's so soft, I cannot even tell you. It's like the kind of soft crocheted feel, like a sweater your grandma would have and she's had for years, so it's worn in, but somehow inexplicably pristine and so unbelievably cozy. That's what this cardigan feels like. I will link it down below in case you want a twin. I have a bowl of some cinnamon roasted pecans. Whenever I went to festivals growing up, my one fair food that I absolutely could not leave without was cinnamon roasted almonds. But in years past, I've developed an almond allergy, which made my fair food unavailable until I found these at Heron's Market. They're pecans, which I'm not allergic to. They taste exactly like cinnamon roasted almonds from my childhood, and it's the perfect salty sweet snack. What movie night is complete without a bowl of popcorn? So I've got both of those to switch back and forth between. Got a steaming cup of chamomile lavender tea, which I'll add milk to in a minute once it's done steeping. And I've got a nostalgic mermaid show playing. In fact, two of the actresses who play two of the mermaids have since grown up and appeared in The Vampire Diaries. I watched The Vampire Diaries first, then I randomly discovered this show, and I instantly recognized both of them with their little baby faces. It was so cool and weird to see them, because if you didn't know, little Cass, anytime she was in the pool or the ocean, I say she like she wasn't me, anytime I was in the pool or the ocean growing up, I would take my hair down because you could not swim without mermaid hair, and I would also play mermaids for hours. I basically wanted to be Ariel from The Little Mermaid. That was my goal in life, was to sing like her, to look like her. Not gonna lie, it's probably where my love of red hair stemmed from, and I wanted to be a mermaid. Unfortunately, life did not work out that way. My scales and fins never appeared. However, this show almost makes up for it. So I'm gonna settle in, grab this quilt to cozy up in, and I will not feel guilty about it.
Most excited about is from the Joy Club, which is my wonderful friend's merch collection and company. So it's really cool. I ordered a bunch of different things. I just popped open the first package. This is such a soft t-shirt. It's the Canvas brand. I love Canvas t-shirts. It says fresh off the market. I feel like her merch is so reasonably priced, especially for being a small, like almost indie sort of brand. Here's the next shirt I got. It says feels like summer. It still does. I had to get this one. I had to get this crew neck sweatshirt. Plus, I feel like even though it is a part of the summer collection, you could pretty much wear it any time of year. I'm literally going to live in this all year. It is insanely soft. Now I'm going to show you the rest of the stuff I got, but I kind of want to stay in this.
Well, I'm happy with what I've done so far. I haven't finished, but I think that's the beauty of these kinds of coloring books. They don't have to be done all in one sitting. You can work on them a little bit at a time. That's actually something really hard for me, is to leave a project unfinished. It just doesn't feel good to my brain to not have something I'm working on have a beginning, a middle, and an end all in 1 or 2 sittings. But I'm trying to remind myself that this is for fun. This isn't an assignment. No one's gonna grade it. It's for pure enjoyment and nothing else. Sitting here now, I'll be honest, I don't know how I feel about this video. It's very different from my normal vlog format, which is fine. I love exploring different creative avenues. My worry is that the algorithm won't like it, which I know is a very silly worry because I don't get paid anyway, but I wanted to make this because I know I can't be the only one who struggles with taking time to rest and giving myself permission to rest. I grew up in a household where weekends and holidays, apart from the big ones like Christmas and things like that, were days for getting stuff done that you didn't otherwise have time to do. So I grew up with the mentality that even rest days weren't for rest, which as an adult I completely understand because you've got to make time for real life things when you have the time. But I think it just created a pattern of thinking that I really want to break. I want to learn to give myself permission to do nothing and to enjoy that, to not feel lazy, to not feel like I'm wasting my time, to actually enjoy doing nothing. Maybe I'm the only one who needs to learn that or struggles with that, but on the off chance that you struggle with it too, hopefully this video was a gentle reminder that it's okay to do cozy things that have no purpose. It's okay to do mindless things like color or watch a cozy show or while away an hour or two reading. I give you full permission to be cozy without a purpose. And with that, I'm gonna leave the vlog here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider hitting the like button and the subscribe button. Both are free and seem meaningless, but they actually help my channel out a lot. It tells the algorithm that I'm worth watching and recommending to other people. Also keep an eye out on my website, The Joy Club, because some autumn things are on their way soon. Don't worry, I'll announce when everything launches, but in case you don't want to miss it, subscribing and hitting the notification bell would really help you not miss out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you guys. Mwah. Bye!